Good morning everyone. Once again I welcome you all on my YouTube channel. Today we are going to resume the chapter number 8 of the first flight. The name of the chapter is Mijbil the Otter. Mijbil the Otter is written by Gavin Maxwell. So before resuming the line by line explanation, I would like to revise what we discussed in the previous video. So let us revise. So the author Gavin Maxwell, after receiving Mijbil from his friend, he stayed in Basra for a few days. Very soon, the otter Mijbil became very friendly with the otter. It loved to play with water all the time. It played with a rubber ball also. The author named his otter Mijbil. He made for it a body belt. He would take it on a lead to the bathroom. There the otter would go mad playing with water. It could even turn the tap and make the water flow at full pressure. So let us now resume the line by line explanation. So as I said that Mijbil was able to open the tap. So and he was very happy when he was able to open the tap fully in a full flow and the water was coming out in a full flow. But on the later occasion, but sometimes when instead of opening the tap, when Mijbil he screwed the tap tight up, Mijbil reacted very disappointingly and with irritation when tap failed to cooperate. So Mijbil became angry when he couldn't open the tap. Instead of opening the tap, he was screwing the tap tighter. So he started chittering with irritation and disappointment. Now very soon Mij would follow me without a lead and come to me when I called his name. So initially the author had to tie the body belt around Mijbil. The author had to lead Mijbil everywhere in his house, in the bathroom, bedroom. But very soon Mijbil would follow the author without leading him, and Mijbil would be able to come to the author whenever he called his name. So whenever the author called his name, the author didn't have to lead him. Without leading him, Mijbil was able to follow him. He spent most of his time in play. In this way, Mijbil was familiar with the surrounding that now he himself alone he could follow the author whenever his name was called by the author. Now the author didn't have to lead him in bedroom or bathroom. So he spent most of his time in play. So initially, Mijbil was lying on the floor, so he was sleeping on the floor, far away. He was keeping distance from the author. But after 1 or 2 days, when Mijbil was familiar with the surrounding, when Mijbil was familiar with the author, Mijbil spent most of the time of the day, most of his time in playing. Now he was not lying on the floor. Now he was not sleeping on the floor. He spent hours shuffling a rubber ball around the room like a four-footed soccer player, using all 4 feet to dribble the ball. So Mijbil, he was so skillful that he spent hours of the day shuffling a rubber ball. So he was able to shuffle. Shuffle here means he was able to move the ball in a different direction, like a he was able to shuffle a rubber ball round the room like a four-footed soccer player. So, like a four-footed soccer player, he was able to move the ball in a different direction in the room. So, using all 4 feet to dribble the ball, even unlike the normal player who use the two legs, Mijbil used his 4 feet to dribble the ball. Dribble here means to move a ball along with short kicks. So Mijbil with his 4 feet, he was able to dribble the ball in the room, and he could also throw it with a powerful flick of the neck. Not only Mijbil spent hours moving the ball, rubber ball in the different direction like a four-footed soccer player. Not only he could use his feet to dribble the ball round the room, but Mijbil was able to throw the ball with a powerful flick of the neck, just like a football player uses his head to throw the ball into the goal post. Mijbil, with the quick movement of his neck, he could throw the ball to a surprising height and distance. So Otter was very surprised when he found that Mijbil, with the quick movement of his neck, he could be able to throw the ball at a surprising height and distance, at far away, at a great height and at a distance. But the real play of an otter is when he lies on his back and juggles with small object between his paws. But Mijbil enjoyed a lot. The real play of Mijbil the otter was when he lies on his back. When Mijbil was lying on his back and when he was juggling with small object between his paws, how he used his paws to juggle the small object. That was the real play of Mijbil. So Mijbil enjoyed juggling small object between his paws lot. Mijbil's marbles were Miss favorite toys for this pastime. So the favorite Mijbil's favorite toys for his pastime were the marbles. Mijbil would like to play with the marbles. So he spent hours of the day by playing with the marbles. It was his favorite toys for his pastime. So how would he play? He would lie on his back rolling two or more of them up and down his wide flat belly without ever dropping one to the floor. So Mijbil was enjoying playing with marbles. How? So Mijbil would lie on his back and he would roll two or more marbles up and down on his wide flat belly. Belly means stomach. And when he moved, so when he rolled the one or two marbles up and down on his flat, he never dropped any one of the marbles on the floor. That was the fun. That was the fun of Mijbil with the marbles. He enjoyed playing with the marbles a lot. So oral comprehension check now we'll see. What experiment did Maxwell think Chemisphorna would be suitable for? So Maxwell thought Chemisphorna would be suitable for the experiment of keeping an otter as a pet instead of a dog. Now second question, why does he go to Basra? How long does he wait there and why? So Gavin Maxwell, he goes to Basra to collect his mail and also to mail his answers. He has to stay there for 5 days waiting for the mail to come. How does he get the otter? Does he like it? Pick out the words that tell you this. So Maxwell get the otter from his friend. He liked the otter very much. He made for it a body belt and also enjoyed its pranks in the bathroom. Why was the otter named Maxwell's otter? So the otter was named Maxwell's otter because the scientist came to know this particular species from Maxwell's otter only. In the beginning, the otter was aloof, indifferent, friendly, or hostile. The answer is it was aloof and different. In the beginning, the otter was aloof and different. What happened when Maxwell took Mijbil to the bathroom? What did it do 2 days after that? So, when Maxwell took Mijbil to the bathroom, it at once started plunging, means diving, and rolling in the bathtub. It went wild with joy. 2 days later, it escaped into the bathroom and started fumbling with the tap. Soon it turned the tap on. The days passed peacefully at Basra. So, the days passed peacefully without facing any difficulty at Basra. So, the author Maxwell enjoyed the company of Mijbil at Basra, and Mijbil also didn't create any problems for the author at Basra. So in this way, the days passed peacefully without facing any difficulty or problem at Basra. But I dreaded the prospect of transporting Miss to England. But after passing the days peacefully at Basra, the author was in great fear of transporting Miss to England. The author was worried that how he would transport Miss to England. So he was also worried how he was able to transport Mijbil to Camisfurna. So dreaded the prospect means the author was in great fear of something that would happen in the future. The British airline to London would not fly animals. So I booked a flight to Paris on another airline. So the author was worried, the author was in great fear of transporting Miss to England and to Camisfurna because the British airline to London would not allow animals to carry in the plane. So the author decided to book a flight to Paris instead of taking the Mijbil through the British airline, which didn't allow author to carry Mijbil in the plane. The author decided to go to Camisfurna, London, via Paris. So the author booked a flight to Paris on another airline and from there to London. So instead of taking the flight to England and Camisfurna, the author decided to go to London via Paris. So he booked a flight to Paris on another airline and from there he decided to go to London from Paris. The airline insisted that Miss should be packed into a box not more than 18 inches square to be carried on the floor at my feet. Even the airline strongly demanded, insisted means the airline in which Miss Bill was to be carried by the author, the NCAD staff, the authority insisted, strongly demanded that if they wanted to carry Miss Bill with him, then Miss Bill should be packed into a box not more than 18 inches square, and also Miss Bill should be carried on the floor at the author's feet. These are the conditions put by the authority of the airline. I had a box made, and an hour before we started, I put Mitch into the box so that he would become accustomed to it. So the author, as per the condition of the airline, so the author had already made the box, and before an hour of the taking of the flight, the author put the Mijbil into the box so that Mijbil would become accustomed. Accustomed means Mijbil would become familiar to the box because Mijbil was never confined into the box. It was the first time that Mijbil was put into the box. So the author wanted Mijbil to be familiar how he would feel in the box. So that's why before 1 hour of the flight's takeoff, the author put the Mijbil into the box so that Mijbil would become familiar to the box. And after putting the Otter into the box, the author left for a hurried meal. So he went for a hurried meal. Hurried meal means he went to eat the food very hurriedly, okay, quickly, because the flight would take off after an hour. When I returned, there was an appealing spectacle. Appealing spectacle means a shocking scene. So when the author, after completing a hurried meal, when he finished his meal very hurriedly, and when the author returned, he saw an appalling spectacle. He saw a shocking scene. There was complete silence from the box, but from its air holes and chinks around the lid, blood had trickled and dried. So the author, he saw a shocking scene. So the author was worried. So he saw that there was complete silence. So there was no noise from the box. But from its air holes, the author had made some holes in the box so that Mijbil could breathe. And from the chinks means narrow opening around the lid, the blood had trickled, the blood had flowed. Trickle means flowed out and dried. So the author, he found that from the air holes and chinks around the lid, the blood was flowing and the blood had dried up. I whipped up the lock. Whip up means he quickly took up the lock and tore open the lid. So the author quickly he took up the lock and he tore open the lid. And Midge exhausted. So Mijbil was, as he was trying to come out of the box, so he had tired greatly. He had tired very much, and blood spattered. Mijbil was totally covered with the blood. His body was covered with blood. Covered, spatter means covered. I whimpered and caught at my leg. So when the author quickly he took up the lock, he found, and when he tore open the lid, he found that Mijbil was totally exhausted, and the blood was, his body was covered with the blood, and Mijbil was whimpering, Mijbil was crying, and Mijbil caught at the author's leg. He had torn the lining of the box to shreds. So the author found that by looking at the condition of box that Mijbil had, as to come out of the box, Mijbil had torn the lining of the box to shreds, means pieces. He had torn the lining of the box to pieces in the effort of coming out of the box. When I removed the last of it, so that there were no cutting edges, it was just 10 minutes until the time of the flight. So when the author removed the last lining of the box, so that there are no cutting corners left, author found that it was just 10 minutes until the time of the flight. So when he removed the last lining of the box, so that there are no cutting edges, only 10 minutes left for the taking of the flight, and the airport was 5 miles distant. Even only 10 minutes left for the taking of the flight, and the airport was 5 miles away from his house. So very hurriedly, I put the miserable Miss back into the box, holding down the lid with my hand. So the author quickly he put the miserable very sad Mijbil, the author, back into the box, and he himself held down the lid with his hand. So in this way, the author faced difficulty of putting the Mijbil into the box. So I hope you have understood this video. We'll resume the line by explanation in the next video.